never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Hope everybody is enjoying the March Madness tournament. After the games last night, we are down to the Elite Eight. Of course, by the time tomorrow night ends, we'll be down to the Final Four. There are no number one seeds left, so there is no way that anybody that filled out a bracket can be better than 50%, maybe, because I'm sure everybody that filled out a bracket had at least one or two one seeds going to the Final Four, and that is not happening. It's amazing to me how many people still fill out brackets, even though we see more and more upsets every single year. And I think the reason why we've seen so many of them this year is because of 2020. We all know by now that that year didn't count towards your eligibility. So you have a lot of teams this year who have fourth year juniors or fifth year, sixth year seniors. So we have a lot of teams that have a lot of guys with a lot of experience going up against a bunch of teams that are typically blue bloods who have one and done players. And typically, most of the time, experience is gonna win out, especially when you have 4 or 5 experienced guys. If you only have one experienced guy against 3 or 4 one and dones, then the 3 or 4 one and dones are probably gonna win. But when you have 4 or 5 deeply experienced guys against 3 or 4 one and dones, then most of the time the experienced guys are gonna win. But it has been a good tournament so far. But I figured, since it is the final weekend in the month of March, 7 days away from turning our calendar to April, which of course is when almost everybody plays their spring game in the world of college football. So it's time to talk some college football. This is the early preseason top 25 for college football from Fox Sports, and it came out March the 15th, which was last week, so it's still pretty new. Any thoughts on it? As always, please feel free to let me know. I've already decided that since I hate Georgia so much, if they win the title again this year, I am officially done with college football. I will never watch again. But Georgia is number one, followed by Michigan, Ohio State, USC, and Tennessee rounds out the top 5. We have Alabama at 6, Penn State 7, Florida State 8, Utah at number 9, and Clemson rounds out the top 10. 11 through 15 is Washington, Notre Dame, Kansas State, TCU, and Oregon at 15. So Kansas State has a legitimate chance of winning the national championship in college basketball. And if this poll is correct, their football team is just right outside the top 10. So definitely happy times right now in Manhattan, Kansas. A lot of people thought that when Bill Snyder retired, they would go on the decline because the first time Bill Snyder retired, Kansas State became complete, total, utter garbage in less than 3 years. But this time, I believe they've hired a pretty doggone good coach. 16 through 20 is Wisconsin, UCLA, LSU, Oregon State, and Colorado. And rounding out the top 25, we have Oklahoma 21, Iowa 22, Kansas 23, Texas 24, and Texas Tech 25. And again, that was the early preseason top 25 in the world of college football. That was from Fox Sports, released March the 15th, which was about a week and a half ago, so it's still pretty new. I'm sure just about every single publication when it comes to sports is going to put out another top 25, probably in June, and then one in July, and then of course we'll see one in August. But it's 7 days away from the month of April, and just about every single team plays their spring game in the month of April. So it is definitely early college football time. Of course, according to all the diehards, college football season never ends. This is the early time of the year with spring games coming up right around the corner, depending on who your team is and when they play. But almost everybody plays their spring game in the month of April. Again, any thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know. Homes for Our Troops is a publicly funded 501c nonprofit organization that builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Since the 2004 inception, nearly 90 cents of every dollar spent has gone directly to our program services for veterans. Visit at hfotusa.org. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Did you hear about the giant with diarrhea? It's all over town. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.